Former IEBC Chief Executive Officer James Oswago and former Deputy Commission Secretaries in Support Services Wilson Shole have been sentenced to a 4-year jail term. The two were found guilty of procurement irregularities in their work.
Sometimes an institution fails once, learns, and corrects itself. But when failure repeats itself across different administrations, with different personalities, under different governments, it stops being about individuals. It becomes about the office. And the IEBC CEO's office has a record. The Chief Executive Officer of the IEBC runs the Secretariat. That means logistics, procurement, technology, human resource deployment, compliance with court orders. When elections break down, this is where investigators look. Not because the CEO votes, but because the CEO executes. Under Samuel Kivui II, Kenya learned a painful lesson. An election can collapse not because votes are stolen, but because verification fails. Kivui II's post-election admission that he could not independently verify the results he announced exposed a system without internal controls. The failure was procedural. The consequences were national. The ECK did not survive. The IEBC was designed to fix that. But under James Oswago, another weakness surfaced. Procurement, election technology contracts, ballot-related tenders, vendor selection. Oswago left office amid corruption charges linked to procurement irregularities. Courts would later deal with the legal outcome. But institutionally, the damage was already done. Public confidence dropped. Again, the CEO's office absorbed the fallout. Under Ezra Chilobar, Kenya witnessed something unprecedented. A presidential election annulled by the Supreme Court. The judgment did not accuse individuals of rigging votes. Instead, it focused on failures in transmission systems, compliance with the law, adherence to constitutional standards. Those failures sat squarely in the Secretariat. Chilobar's suspension and removal followed. The lesson was clear. Even without criminal findings, procedural failure is enough to end a tenure. Then came Marjan Hussein Marjan. His tenure was notably quieter. But silence should never be mistaken for stability. During Marjan's time, several issues emerged. First, procurement delays and audit queries. Official audit reports raised concerns about delayed procurement of election materials, weak contract management, and insufficient documentation on some tenders. None of these alone triggered removal. But together, they pointed to administrative strain. Second, institutional preparedness. The IEBC repeatedly missed internal deadlines tied to electoral planning, forcing last-minute adjustments and extensions. That is not illegal. But in elections, delay equals risk. Third, relationship breakdowns inside the Commission. Insiders described persistent tension between the Secretariat and commissioners over authority, accountability, and decision-making lines. This claim could not be independently verified in full, but the outcome is on record. Marjan resigned, without a full public explanation. What this tells us: look at the pattern. Kivui II failed on verification. Oswago struggled with procurement integrity. Chilobar collapsed under system non-compliance. Marjan left amid audit pressure, delays, and internal strain. Different failures. Same office. The new acting CEO and an old risk now enter Moses Ledarma Sunkuli. He takes over not as a permanent CEO, but as an acting one. That matters. Because history shows that the IEBC CEOs' failures are rarely dramatic at first. They accumulate through small delays, unresolved audit queries, unclear authority lines, deferred decisions. By the time the public notices, the damage is already done. This investigation does not accuse. It observes. The IEBC CEO's seat is overloaded. It demands independence without offering insulation. It demands accountability without structural protection. Until that contradiction is resolved, no appointment, acting or permanent, will end this cycle. Final word: Kenya does not have a CEO problem. Kenya has an institutional design problem. And until it is fixed, this office will continue to produce resignations, suspensions, court battles, and silence. Not because the people are weak, but because the system is.